So, ladies and gentlemen, here it is, Concept 3, the first compact EV under the IONIQ branding. It's really typified at first impression by its silhouette. The silhouette starts at the front of the car, very low. This gives us an aerodynamic advantage where we get the nose right down low, flows over the top to the cabin, and the cabin has a very unique profile where we have this acceleration point, which is exactly in line with the rear occupant's seating position. So we give them the maximum headroom. But to create a fully aero hatch design, which works aerodynamically efficiently, we accelerate the flow down to this big ducktail spoiler at the rear of the car. Who doesn't love a ducktail spoiler? And this gives us the aerodynamic efficiency of the overall silhouette of the car. When you approach the car closer, you see the simple forms that flow, the art of steel, looking like simple single plane curvatures coming together, defining edges. If we get it right, you should look and think that this looks like its own volume, which is then intersected with other volumes, and it should, I believe, look like steel, looks like the raw material we're using. Of course, the car has the benefit of the EV proportions. So we have a long wheelbase and quite tight overhangs, gives a very premium character to the overall design impression. In side view, the silhouette stands out, and then with this very dynamic window graphic, where you see the contrast between the top of the daylight opening, the windows, and what we call the Y0, the silhouette, gives a dynamic opening and then closing towards the rear of the car. And then the intersection of volumes completing the story with a really wonderful stance. Now to the front of Concept 3. In the front three-quarter view, you start to see the stance of the vehicle, how well it's sitting on the wheels, how emotional the whole design looks. And you see really how the front comes down to a very, very low separation point for the aerodynamics. And beneath it, the pixel panel, you will have seen the pixel panel on Instaroid. We have another interpretation of the pixel panel here, just above these active air flaps for battery cooling. And of course, above that, we have our 4-dot illumination. You'll recognize from our production vehicles, the steering wheels have 4-dot illumination, the 4 dots representing the letter H in Morse code. Here we build on what we showed for Initium, and for our EVs, we have the 4-dot lighting at the front of the car. At the rear of Concept 3, you really start to see the purity and simplicity of the forms. Very, very clearly defined volumes, and then a beautiful attention to detail. Of course, attention to detail for IONIQ means pixels. And the pixel lighting scheme, you carry from the front pixel lighting to the rear here, but the sense of humor in the design, those little extra touches. We can see in the diffuser here, the loudspeakers. On an internal combustion engine car, it's exhaust pipes that make a noise. Here we openly and honestly have speakers to accentuate the sound and the story of sound with the car. And of course, those little touches, if you come close, you'll see that the screws here are in the design of Mr. Pix, our little character behind the car. And when you get really close, you'll see, as it says right down here, may the downforce be with you. So the rear of the car, very aerodynamic diffuser, effective functionally as well. And then this beautiful ducktail spoiler, transparent ducktail spoiler that covers these wonderful, unique pixels that stand for IONIQ design and connect this IONIQ to the other IONIQs in our lineup. This is like the base of the chess pieces. This is what connects, that everybody knows that Minecraft or Tetris and IONIQ are in the same family of digital electric design. For the interior space, it's designed like pieces of furniture. So each of the interior elements are like their own piece of furniture coming together in the room that is our interior space. The design language of that curve of upholstery, where the surfaces look natural to the material that's being stretched over them. Then the overall architecture, the macro ergonomics of the interior space. We talk about the eyes on the road and the hands on the wheel. So we lift the driver's information above the steering wheel, and then all primary interactions are physical buttons. So we keep our eyes on the road the whole time, and physically we don't have to look away. We can find the buttons through the muscle memory, and each button is designed in a different way, so you can recognize the interaction without having to look. Finally, the steering wheel, where we have that delight factor of Mr. Pix. You will find Mr. Pix in details around the interior space that extra, we call it in design terms, Easter eggs. Little surprises, whether it's in the ceramic around the windscreen, whether it's in the details on the center console here, or whether it's the animation in the pixels on the steering wheel. There's a joy, an engagement for the occupant and for the driver or for the user. And that is the interior of Concept 3.